So, is it true that the original version of a property is the best? In this video, we're going to take a look at the original version of House of the Dead and find out how to answer just that question. The House of the Dead is a horror-themed arcade-style light gun shooter. It was initially released by Sega in 1996, spawning an entire series thereafter. It was developed by Sega AM1 and published by Sega. The House of the Dead released in Japan on September 13, 1996. It saw its Saturn release on March 26, 1998, and in North America, March 31st of 98 as well. It saw a Microsoft Windows release September 3rd of 98, and now has a Nintendo Switch remake that released April 7th, 2022. Furthermore, it is classified as a horror, light gun, and rail shooter and can be played either single or multiplayer. Now, will it rise to fame as one of our top-rated games, or will it be dead on arrival? Let's find out. In this game, you step into the shoes of AMS agent Thomas Rogan and G. Agent Rogan receives a distress call from his fiancée, Sophie Richards, from the Curien Mansion on December 18, 1998. Rogan and G fly to Europe and arrive at the estate to find it overrun with undead, which have been released by Dr. Curien himself. Together, Thomas Rogan, G, and Sophie Richards must uncover the vast mysteries of the Curien Mansion and Dr. Curien himself while surviving this nightmare of a scenario. Will they save themselves in the mansion in time? Well, that's up to you to find out. The House of the Dead is a rail shooter primarily. Initially, players would use a light gun or a mouse depending on the version to aim and shoot approaching zombies. Your pistols use magazines that each hold 6 rounds, and reloading was done by shooting away from the screen. If you sustained damage or shot an innocent, 1 point of health would be removed. You would receive a continue screen if you lost all your health. If you ran out of continues, the game was over and you were dead. You can also acquire first aid packs to restore 1 point of health, some of which could be obtained by rescuing hostages. They started developing the House of the Dead in 1995, and it took 1 year and 3 months to see its release. No one on the original team could speak English, so they came to the name the House of the Dead by taking various horror-themed phrases in Japanese and picking the one where the English translated text had the most cool visual. A dangerous plan, but I think it worked out alright for them. In late 1997, Sega confirmed that work had begun to port the game to the Sega Saturn and was handled by Tantalus Interactive. In April 2021, it was announced that House of the Dead would be receiving a remake for the Nintendo Switch. The House of the Dead has been receiving positive reviews since its initial release, and this isn't surprising since the game spawned an entire House of the Dead series. Well, what about Studio 35's rating, Mike? I'll get to that in just a moment. Allgame gave the 3 main versions 4 out of 5 stars. Game Informer an 8 out of 10 for the Sega Saturn specifically. What did S35 Gaming rate it? Well, we'll get to that in a bit. But first, oh, so close to perfect. This initial release had great story, levels, creature design, and overall design too. Now, it wasn't a perfect game, but we had our reasons. We thought this game was great for its time, and we look forward to playing the new Nintendo Switch release, which hit the market on April 7th, 2022. It promises to be a great game and shows that the House of the Dead series is still going strong. Well done, Sega. You continue to release classics even today, and we're delighted that you do. Our rating? 4.7 out of 5. So what's your opinion? Let us know in the comments, but remember, always be nice. And why don't you check out what we thought of the indie retro shooter Nightmare Reaper while you're here and see why we loved it so much. I'm Mike Golchinsky, and I'll see you in the next video.